Hello, Gemini, and welcome to Elevated Intuition. Today we are looking at November for you. So I've got several decks we're working with. I'm going to get a lot of messages here from these oracle decks at the end. This one we'll bring back to ask some questions about relationships. This isn't necessarily based on relationships. I'll do one next week that is a pure relationship reading, but this is a November reading. So what energies will be flowing this month of November for Gemini? Gemini energies flowing. We have the Seven of Swords. It's really interesting how swords have just been flying out really for all of the signs. So it tells me that there is a lot of communication happening, a lot of seeking truths, a lot of it seems like a lot of energies opening up concerning, air energy. You are an air sign, so I feel like you're going to be taking advantage of that, taking advantage of being in your element, as it were, even though this is, we're coming into November in Scorpio season, which is, Scorpio is a water sign, but there's a lot of air energy, a lot of communication things. The Seven of Swords can indicate like somebody holding back on communications. And this can be you're doing something strategic. Okay, so this is happening at night. There's tents here, and you're walking away with everybody's swords, or maybe these are your own swords that you're walking away with, and kind of the cover of night. But you're doing it to kind of set yourself up for some reason. If this is you're kind of keeping close to the vest what you're working on. That is, and it could be like a communications project. So if you're writing, if you want to write an article, a book, something like that, or maybe journaling, and you're using it it's really for personal use, personal gains, something that's going to help you out. So great month to write, great month to think about your personal goals in regards to communications. Maybe, this is strategic communication. So maybe it is that you take a break from like social medias, things like that, if that resonates for you, or at least censor what you put out there, think about what you put out there, and put out things that, maybe you're only on Facebook because that's where your grandma is, and you just put out things for her rather than creating more drama in other ways. So that's kind of like, it's not that it is kind of it's not a constricted energy really, although observers from the outside might think that you're not really doing much. It's a lot of internal work here, a lot of what is going to work out for you. And then where should you focus? Where should Gemini focus for November? And we have the Four of Pentacles. So again, both of these are very much energy of kind of like keeping to yourself, putting up boundaries. Four of Pentacles at its like worst would be somebody who's a hoarder, holding on to things, keeping things, but material things. So if you feel like, I don't know, from our agrarian society, it may feel like as we're going into winter, you need to, a lot of people, it might be a little bit too late for this, but like canned vegetables, or hold on to that, or make sure that their cupboard is full. That can be like a very practical thing. Where I live in Colorado, we can get like freak snowstorms and wake up and not be able to travel someplace. So I need to know that I have so much food for the day. So you might be feeling like it's time to stock up on some things, time to, and when you do stock up on things, you take stock of what you have. So take inventory, even a lot of readings for me so far, not for me personally, but that I've put out, coming up to November, have talked about like cleaning things out. Because we're coming into, you always hear about spring cleaning, but autumn cleaning is a big thing too. And I feel like this is kind of like after that, like, okay, you have cleaned things out and now it's time to bring some things back in to hold on to something that's going to make you feel secure. And I feel like this is working together to talk about like your security and your happiness for November. And then challenges. What challenges okay, this is interesting. Challenges that you might face for November, and we get the Page of Cups reversed. It's actually not surprising because a lot of this energy is very closed off. A lot of this energy is very much thinking about yourself. Cups is emotions, thinking about other, you know, kind of like putting those emotions out there, being open to like very surprising things happen, like having a fish in your cup. And it's really, this doesn't seem like you're ready to move on any type of emotional thing, any type of relationship thing. It seems like you're more focused on what's going on in your head and then your physical surroundings around your living space and where you are right now. So a challenge might be that, you know, you're still kind of like in hibernation mode. I think we talked about hibernation a little bit in a Gemini reading. Still in hibernation mode a little bit, still holding on to some sort of position and not really ready to move out of that. And then something you should work towards letting go. What is something Gemini should work towards letting go? We've got we've got 3 cards coming out. Wow. I didn't really want to take 3 cards for this, but it makes so much sense because we have the 5 of Swords. It really does feel like something working towards for November is forgiving others and letting grudges go and, you know, being in a better place that way. The 5 of Pentacles here too. You need to let go of a mindset of lack. So it's one thing to like stock up for the winter or make sure that you have the things that you need to go out and make sure you have the proper, you know, inspect the tires of your car, put the correct, you know, change your batteries out in your smoke detectors, things like this. It's another thing to then take this mindset and then go jump into like a lack kind of mindset. Like, oh my gosh, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this because I'm never going to be able to get it again. I need to make sure that I have flour because I don't know if the stores are going to be carrying that. This is a mindset that can help us sometimes in the physical, but it is not a pleasant place to hang out. And kind of the Queen of Wands reversed here too, kind of, it feels like, you know, with the 3 of these cards coming out, it feels kind of like you're in a mindset of kind of lack. You're in a mindset of it's not the most pleasant mindset. The good news about all of this is when we have the 5 of Pentacles, that there's like this beacon of light. There's this hope that's on the way. Like this person is like out here in the cold and they're very much just looking in front of them. There's just putting one foot in front of the other, and that they're looking down too. And they're just like, oh my gosh, in this moment, I feel so cold. I feel so left out. I feel so lonely. I feel so lacking. But when you do look up, you realize that there's connections of people all around you. And I feel like that, Gemini, is to adopt a gratitude, an attitude of gratitude for November would be great for you. Don't carry this acting out strategically for yourself too far. forgiving of others, and take back control of your creativity. You're a very creative person, and you function well when you're able to be creative. I mentioned journaling. I think that could be an amazing outlet for you to be creative in. And I think that would help you here with this to feel better, to feel more fulfilled, to have a better mental attitude going into the winter. And then we've got the High Priestess in reverse. This is your overall relationships for November. I think that right now, maybe you don't really know where you stand with people. Again, going back to this forgiveness, I think forgiveness can help. Just understand that things aren't personal. Everybody is acting for their own for their own well-being, as well as you should be acting for your well-being. But if somebody does something, they don't mean it personally. They don't mean it maliciously. They're just acting strategically for themselves, like you are. And so the High Priestess kind of feels like disconnected from others, because when she's in reverse, because upright, she's very in tune. She just knows, like there's just this deep knowing. It's something beyond like your knowledge or what your brain can understand and know. It's like that other thing, the depths of our knowledge. And I feel like you might be disconnected from that in relationships right now. Just because it seems kind of like you're in survival mode a little bit. And then we've got Page of Wands. So this is relationships with people that you work with. Looks really positive. So I feel like it is a lot to do with your own interpretation of things, your own mind of what things are going on, that things are not as difficult as they seem. I think they're better than you seem. And I get it. We all feel the feels, and that's okay. Let's see what else can we tell Gemini? Can we give Gemini some advice for November? Can Gemini get some advice for November? It feels like there's several cards that want to come out here. So we're gonna come in and get one. Dragonfly Spirit, truth transcends illusion. Very nice. I think that's why we have a lot of swords here. Truth is very important to you. Logic is very important to you. And I think, some truths are going to be revealed. And then one more of these guys. Skunk Spirit, you know your worth. And if you don't, you should know your worth. I think that's part of this Seven of Swords here, acting strategically for yourself. And when you do adopt some gratitude around where you are and who you are, and like love yourself, to know your worth. The other thing that I love about the Skunk Spirit is like the skunk doesn't care that other people, that you may not be everybody's cup of tea, and this skunk is certainly not everybody's cup of tea. Underneath though, they're they're so adorable. And I love that the skunk is sitting on a flower. Let's see. What else for Gemini? Fire magic. Very nice. So I mentioned journaling. One thing, if you do have like reoccurring negative thoughts that come up into your mind, a great way to kind of get those out of your mind is to, write it down on a piece of paper and burn it. Fire magic also, there's just like a warm glow. It's candles. They just have a way of like relaxing us. And I feel like that is something that can help you out this month, Gemini, as well as like the warmth around it. That's very much the opposite of the Five of Pentacles. You know, look for that warmth, find that warmth, create that warmth if you don't see it around you. Oh, and fire magic also talks about passion. I feel like, you know, you're being very practical. I feel like you're being very cerebral, like you're thinking a lot, but don't forget your passion. Don't forget your passion projects. If it's just sitting down and watching a movie, or you know, there's so many little classes and things online that it makes it really easy to, you know, take a class on like anime or something like that. Rediscover some very creative passions. So I feel like what's missing for you this month and in these cards, and especially when we've got the Queen of Wands in reverse, is some creativity. I feel like though, like work could be a bright spot. We got the Page of Wands here. I feel like that can help you out a little bit. I know that's not always the case for people, but I feel like at least in your work relationships that there's some warmth and there's some creativity and passion there. Woo. And the card that came out landed on the floor. So it is, sorry, had to grab it. Learn from life. So this talks about, it's a little bit, and you may still be kind of feeling that hibernation energy from October coming in, where you've rested and you're kind of still hanging out here with the Four of Pentacles, just kind of holding on to everything that you have. But Learn from Life suggests that, you know, you've got a number of knowledge. It's time now to jump off with that knowledge. This can also talk about, like, if you don't feel like you're ready to do something, like maybe your passion is to write a book, right? So then you go to, you know, a seminar about writers, or you read about writers, or you read books that you like. And now it's time to be like, I know that you're never going to be ready. Like, you're never going to feel like, oh, I'm not really ready to write the great American novel, or, you know, great Russian novel, wherever you're listening from. I actually have a lot of listeners in Brazil, oddly enough. So you aren't maybe ready to, you don't feel like you're ready, but you're never going to be ready if you're going off of that. So it's time to put some action behind your thoughts. And I feel like that's kind of what has been missing over here. And I also feel like when we've got the Page of Cups reversed, that you're kind of holding back on the action. You're kind of holding back on doing something, and there's no reason to. It's the time is right now. The time is right now to go and do that. So what is it that your heart desires? And I know that sometimes, like, we don't really, like, we think that we get a passion for something and then it just takes us, escalates us to the next place. And then we're just sitting around waiting for our passion to come back. Well, sometimes you have to take that step before that passion comes in. Sometimes you just have to say, okay, I'm doing this, and sit down and start doing it. And then that passion starts coming in, and that passion starts building. And I think that's part of this fire magic here. And I think that's also part of the Queen of Wands in reverse. Like, she's like a great creative energy. She creates creativity, really. Queens create. So I feel like you're being stifled a lot in some way, a lot from your own thoughts. Maybe it's because, you know, your relationships aren't what you thought they were, whatever. Maybe you just need to work past that instead of focusing on those things, and start focusing on yourself. Start picking up your head and looking around. There's some really beautiful things around you going on that you're missing right now when you're in this kind of like poor me moment of the Five of Pentacles. So that's what I have for you, Gemini. I hope that you have a beautiful month. I know that you can turn it into a beautiful month, and I will see you in the next reading. Thank you.